What's up, Christ Center Mental Health community? This is me, Lydia Sarchet, representing Christ Center Mental Health, the ministry where I talk about mental health awareness from a Christian perspective in order to give you real hope in Jesus' name to the glory of God the Father by the power of the Holy Spirit. Before I get started on this video, I just have a couple announcements that I want to give, or a few announcements that I want to give to the people that are new to this channel. This channel does have a Christ Center Mental Health Facebook page and a Christ Center Mental Health Facebook group. Both of these serve for the purpose of giving people a chance to be aware of what's going on with the ministry. Also, it gives people a chance to interact with other subscribers and then interact with me and give me content ideas. And then also, me and my wife started a group on Facebook called Holy Matrimony and Mental Illness. This group serves for the purpose of giving Christian married couples who struggle with mental illness a chance to interact with other Christian married couples that struggle with mental illness. We have a time fellowship, we build one another up in the faith, and we encourage one another. And we give each other sound biblical wisdom. So if you're a Christian married couple that struggles with mental illness, please come join the group. You're more than welcome, and we would like the group to grow because it's brand new right now. So please come join the group. Also, there's the Christ Center Mental Health Fellowship. For those of you that live in the Toledo, Ohio area, you join the group and we'll meet in local areas like coffee shops and places like that for a time of fellowship and Bible study and discussion on faith and mental illness. And also, there's a Christ Center Mental Health Ministry podcast. For those of you that for those of you that like to listen to podcasts, you do have to pay a small fee for the podcast. It's for the partner plan, it's $1 a month, a minimum of $1 a month. Then for the advocate plan, it's a minimum of $5 a month. So please check that out. So the links to all this will be in the description box below. Alright, so as you can tell, the title of this video is titled the dangerous medication called Clozaril, or also known as Clozapine. And the reason why I wanted to do this video is to raise awareness on this medication or the dangerous effects of this medication in order to possibly prevent what happened to me from happening to someone else. And for those of you that aren't aware of what happened to me, last year I was put on a medication called Clozapine, which is the generic form of Clozaril. It's an antipsychotic medication for people who suffer with schizophrenia, and it's supposed to be for people that are medication, or what's the word that was used? Treatment resistant. I wasn't treatment resistant, so I should have never been put on this medication, but it is for people that are treatment resistant. And so I want to raise awareness about this medication to possibly save someone's life, or to at least make some people aware of this medication's effects. That way you can proceed with caution if you're considering taking this medication, either the Clozaril or the generic form of the Clozaril, which is Clozapine. Alright, so So basically what happened to me, I was put on that medication last year, and I ended up in the hospital. Well, I was experiencing these different side effects for about a month after I was in the hospital, and we tried to tell my psychiatrist at the time about the side effects, and he just kept on saying, oh, well, you're just adjusting to the medication. And I started getting gradually worse and worse. So I ended up rushing to the hospital. They ended up having to do about 6 or 7 surgeries on my colon because my colon was perforated, and I went into septic shock. I had gastro hypomotility, I don't remember the exact term that they used, or the medical term, but I pretty much I had a pulmonary embolism because of it. I had a lot of stuff going on at the time. I essentially almost died, and so I ended up spending about over 80 days in the hospital because I temporarily lost my ability to walk because since I was in the hospital, laying in a hospital bed for so long, I lost the strength in my legs, so I had to relearn how to walk again. And yeah, so it was pretty serious. It was a pretty hard time on us, and so I want to prevent what happened to me from happening to someone else, because now we have to deal with me having an ostomy bag for the rest of my life. So yeah, so that's no fun. Anyway, so I want to read to you some articles that I found. If you just Google clozapine bowel obstruction, you'll see all these medical articles that have to do with the dangers of clozapine. But I'll share a couple of these articles with you. I'll post these in the description box below so you can read them for yourself. But I'm just gonna read a part of both of these articles that I found. I'm not gonna read the whole thing, but I'm gonna read a part of them. So the first article is from ScienceDirect.com. It says the title of it is it's a research paper, and it says clozapine treated patients have marked gastrointestinal hypomotility, which is exactly what I had. I had gastrointestinal hypomotility. That was one of the things I had wrong with me. And it said the probable basis of life-threatening gastrointestinal complications, a cross-sectional study. And it goes on, the highlights of the article. It says this study confirms that the antipsychotic clozapine has profound effects on bowel function. Median colonic transit time was 104.5 h if taking clozapine, and then greater than 4 times normative values, or if on another antipsychotic. Right, left, and rectal sigmoid motility were all significantly impaired, suggesting pancolonic pathology. Colonic transit times were positively correlated with clozapine plasma level, but not other variables. This is clozapine specific. 80% of clozapine patients and 0% of those taking other antipsychotics had abnormal GI transit. Findings may explain the clozapine-related morbidity and mortality from GI complications such as bowel obstruction. And then it goes on to say, for every 1,000 patients treated with clozapine, 300 to 600 will suffer constipation, and at least 4 will develop serious gastrointestinal complications, including ileus, bowel obstruction, bowel ischemia, or necrosis. That was the other thing I had wrong. With my ostomy, like when they created my ostomy, like my stoma went necrotic and fell off. So now I don't have a stoma where my ostomy is. Yeah, it was a pretty bad time. It says from which one will die. Gastro iatrogenic mortality is higher than gastrointestinal complication. It says iatrogenic mortality is higher from gastrointestinal complications than from I can't pronounce that. But then it goes on. It says, however, the mechanism for these gastrointestinal complications has been poorly understood. This study confirms clozapine has profound effects on bowel motility, with colonic transit in clozapine-treated patients taking 4 times longer than normal. 80% of clozapine patients had gastrointestinal hypomotility. Self-reported constipation had low sensitivity in predicting hypomotility. Prophylactic laxative treatment is recommended in all clozapine-treated patients. That last part, prophylactic laxative treatment is recommended in all clozapine treated patients. My doctor at the time never even told me about that. He never told me. He never put me on any prophylactic laxative treatment. He just put me on the clozapine and called it good. And then it just goes on and talks about the background, methods that they use, outcome. Again, this article will be in the description box so you can check it out for yourself. So the next article is from also from Science Direct. It's another article. Oh wait, no, not from Science Direct. Hold on. It's from medsafe.government. This one talks about, it's titled Clozapine Impacts on the Colon. And this one says, um, prescribers are reminded of the importance of treating constipation in patients taking clozapine to prevent potentially life-threatening complications. Clozapine is indicated for use in patients with treatment-resistant schizophrenia. Constipation is a very common adverse effect in clozapine use, occurring in 14 to 60% of patients. In rare cases, complications can be fatal. Clozapine has potent anti-chlorogenic effects, although many anti-chlorogenic medicines can cause gastrointestinal hypomotility. Clozapine has a much more potent effect through the interaction with multiple receptors, including anti-chlorogenic and serotoninogenic receptors. Clozapine can impair motility through the GI tract, causing intestinal obstruction, bowel ischemia, necrosis, perforation, toxic megacolon, and related aspiration pneumonia. Risk factors in recent initiation of clozapine treatment: higher clozapine doses, concomitant use of antichlorogenics, and concurrent illness. So, yeah, I'm not gonna pretend to understand what all that means, but I know, my one of the biggest things, my colon was perforated because of the clozapine. And so I mean, gastro, um I had what was it called? Um, Yeah, I mean, I had a lot of things going on with me because of this, and we think it's because I was on the clozapine plus lithium at the same time. We're not sure about that, but we think it was because of both of those, the clozapine and the lithium, like the two probably didn't work well together. But I personally think it was just the clozapine, because I was on lithium before the clozapine, and the lithium didn't really do anything. It actually worked the lithium worked in my favor, and then I was put on clozapine, and also like everything just gets out of control really fast. So yeah, like so I'm gonna post this article in the description box so you guys can see this for yourself. Uh, it said, okay, it says any patients taking clozapine should be asked about their bowel habits regularly, especially in the first few months of treatment. My doctor never asked me about my bowel habits, never, not a single time. And it says, however, the risk continues with ongoing use. Therefore, all patients taking clozapine need to be asked about their bowel habits on an ongoing basis. Again, he never asked me about my bowel habits. Um, Then it talks about, prior to initiation of treatment with clozapine, a gastrointestinal history and abdominal examination should be performed. That never happened. He just put me on clozapine without doing that. He said patients should be warned about the risk of constipation and given information on diet, exercise, and fluid intake. He never warned me about anything. And he said pre-existing constipation should be addressed before starting treatment with clozapine. And he never did that. Yeah. And then he said appropriate laxatives should be prescribed to treat constipation and need to be reviewed regularly. That never happened either. Combined stimulants and softening laxative may be helpful as a first-line treatment. However, stimulant laxatives should be avoided if intestinal obstruction has already developed. These patients need to be referred urgently for treatment. So, like I said, I'm gonna post. Here's something. He said the most common reported signs and symptoms of serious complications include moderate to severe abdominal pain, abdominal distension, vomiting, paradoxical overflow, diarrhea, reduced appetite, nausea. Patients with these signs and symptoms require urgent medical referral and treatment as complications such as septic shock can occur. Like, so, yeah, like, this article is going to be in the description box so you guys can check it out for yourself. But anyway, so, like, I want people to be aware of this. Like, if you have a doctor that's considering putting you on clozapine, like my doctor at the time, like, he was trying to push clozapine on me for a few months before I finally agreed to it. And I like, yeah, it was pretty bad. Like, it really messed things up badly. Like, so I want to take this time. The doctor, by the way, that put me on this medication is a doctor named Seth Colvin, and I didn't really, like, I was thinking about not saying his name, but I decided I wanted to, because for those of you that live in the Toledo area, like, I do want to let you know, like, to watch out for this doctor. Like, I want you to watch out for him, because, and be careful if you're dealing with him, like, because he didn't listen to us. Like, we tried to tell him that I was experiencing side effects, and he wouldn't listen to us. He ignored we wrote him a letter to tell him about the side effects that I was experiencing, and he just tossed the letter to the side and just ignored it. And so this guy is not, like, I mean, he's not a good doctor. And like, but the thing is, like, I do forgive him for what he did, because that's what Christ would want me to do. I do forgive him. However, I do think that people need to be warned about him, because I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one that he's done this to, or that he's treated this way. And honestly, I don't think someone who has such a callous attitude towards people with mental illness, I don't think someone like that should be working in the mental health field, because we have enough people treating us badly or not caring about us, and like we don't need psychiatrists to treat us the same way. And like, it's definitely disheartening. But I do forgive him. I have no ill will. I have no feelings of ill will towards him. I don't wish any harm on him, and I don't encourage anybody to harm him or find him or anything like that. Like, I will be praying for him, and I do hope that God takes care of him, and that God will provide for him, provide for his family. And I do hope that one day this man does come to know Christ, and by coming to know the gospel. Like, I do hope and pray for this man's salvation. And I do love this man. I do love him with the love of Christ, and I do care about him. Like, I do forgive him. Like, I mean, the Jesus tells me that I'm supposed to forgive my enemies, and I'm supposed to love my enemies. So I do love him. I do care about him, and I do want to warn people about him. Like, this video isn't meant to be a video to bash him or bash his character or anything like that, or get people to rally against him. Like, that's not what this purpose of this video is. I want to raise awareness about this medication, like, because if you are considering taking clozapine, you need to be made aware of the possible of what you're getting, what could possibly happen to you if you do take this medication. So you need to, if you after seeing this video you do still want to take the medication, then just make sure your doctor is asking you frequently about your bowel movements, and that you get the proper test done before you take the medication, even after you take the medication. And then make sure that you're following everything that needs to be done. Like, and make sure the doctor is following everything that make sure your doctor is following everything that needs to be done as well, because I would hate to find out that someone else was on this medication and they ended up dying. Like, I was fortunate enough to still be alive after my experience. I mean, I went into septic shock, and like, I had all kinds of things wrong with me. Like, to this day, even right now, I still have to take blood thinner. Like, I mean, hopefully in July when I see my cardiovascular surgeon again, he's gonna take me off the blood thinner. But right now I have to take a blood thinner to prevent blood clots because I mean, like I said, when I was, but hopefully by the time I see my cardiovascular doctor, like off the blood thinner. Um, but yeah, this is pretty bad. But I don't want to end this video on a negative note. I want to talk about because the Bible does say that God uses all things for our good and for His glory. I mean, Romans 8:28 says that, and I firmly believe that. And an example of that, God did use this incident that I went through for my good. Like, I mean, because before this incident, I was a heavy smoker. Like, I was smoking a lot. And now, like, since I was in the hospital for so long, I haven't had a cigarette since I've been out of the hospital. Like, it's been about a year now. No, well, not quite a year, almost a year since I've had a cigarette. Like, so, like, yeah, I'm not a smoker anymore. I've lost a lot of weight since then. Like, and my my relationship with my wife is stronger than ever. Like me and her have a me and him me and her have grown a lot closer since the time I since before I was in the hospital. Because before I was in the hospital, I mean things were all right. Like, but I'm not like things were a bit rough between us before I went into the hospital. But because of this experience, like me and her have grown a lot closer together, and there's I've heard before that trials will grow a marriage, and like, when a married couple goes through trials, like they do grow closer together and they grow stronger together, and so this trial did grow us, and like. I mean, we have had a lot of trials in just our first year of marriage, and I know and I love my wife more than anything and anyone in this world. Like she's very important to me, and I am thankful to her. So so those are some of the good things that's come out of this experience. So that's why I want to leave this video. I want to leave this video on a positive note. Like, so I want you to know that God does work all things for the good of those who love Him, who are called according to His purpose. Like, and yeah, and if you already have been on clozapine and you have experienced what I just like described and what I've been through because of clozapine, if you've experienced this as well, I want you to be encouraged in that too. That God will use the experience you've gone through for His glory and for your good. Like it will so just you can trust God on that. All right, so that's all I have to say. I thank you for watching this video. Like I really appreciate it. And if this ministry has blessed you, please support the Christ Center Mental Health Ministry via the Patreon account. If you do give to the ministry, it'll give you access to a private Discord community for online fellowship and peer support. It'll also give you access to a daily devotional Monday through Friday on faith and mental illness. And for a limited time, a portion of all the proceeds I get from Patreon will go towards helping a couple from my church raise the funds to adopt a child. This child really needs a family, and this couple really wants to adopt this child and give this child a loving, caring, nurturing home. So please help me help them raise the funds to adopt this child. Thank you. Also, please check out the Christ Center Mental Health TikTok and the Christ Center Mental Health Tumblr, and also check out the Defending the Faith Christian Apologetics blog. And also one more thing, I do want to let you guys know that if you struggle with mental health issues, I do want to offer my services as a peer support. I'm not a mental health professional, so don't use me as a replacement for a mental health professional, but as a co-sufferer with mental illness, I do want to offer services as a peer support. So if you can call the 24-hour ministry peer support line at 567-343-3727. Once again, it's 567-343-3727. If I don't answer when you call, just leave a voicemail. Let me know what's going on, and I promise you that I will call you back as soon as possible. And if you don't feel like you want to call me, you can always email me at christcenteredmentalhealth@gmail.com. And this information will be in the description box below, so you can check and see it in writing. And also, if you don't want to call or email me, you can always email one of my team members. Their emails will be in the description box below as well. So that's all I have to say. Let me know what you guys think about anything that I said in the comment section below. And as always, have a great day. God bless you and stay strong in the Lord. All right, bye.